All right, here we are, December 20th, 2020. Update on the garden. Everything is looking good. Getting some shade already. Here's our celery. Doing much better, a lot bigger. I think it's got a ways to go, but we'll keep an eye on it. Doing good. Salad. All these containers down here. Tons of salad stuff. Doing good. Here's a cabbage. Thing is huge. I'm looking at about over 2 feet in diameter. What I did since last video, I cleaned this out and I planted some seedlings and more cabbage, broccolis, whatnot. And something is eating this poor thing. I could not find what it is. It's most likely a worm. Got a red cabbage, a Napa cabbage, and I think that one might be a broccoli. Also added one right over here. But these are doing great in these pots. It's a broccoli right there. In fact, if we can see down in there, it's a little shady, but there's the tiniest little broccoli forming. Garlic are doing good. I don't know if we want it to be green like this so early, but it is. A lot of these are cabbages. Now this bed over here is doing really well. I really like this red cabbage. Look how big this thing is. Way bigger than my hand. There's that volunteer tomato plant. We'll see what happens. It's very late in the season. This plant's really big. Can't remember if this is a cauliflower or a cabbage. This thing is well over 2 feet. Shade here. Anyway, doing really well. I believe these are all broccolis. It's getting much bigger compared to the last video. I want to show you something. I was very surprised with this Napa cabbage. This thing was so huge, doing so good. I had so much hopes for it. And then it started bolting. Bolting is when it flowers. Not sure why. Other than today, we are to hit 80, but we've been in 70s for a while now, and this plant just bolted, which means it will not produce a head. So this one is just for looks now. Oh well. A little cabbage in here, much bigger than last time. Of course, we got lots of lettuce in here and dill. Some peppers, probably need to pull them. They're really not producing. I had a couple little purple bells yesterday that I picked, but very tiny, won't really do much. But this pea plant is really taking off. Look how tall this thing is. This thing just goes and goes and goes. Definitely over 7 feet tall. And as you can see, there are just pea pods everywhere. These. I picked a bunch yesterday too. They don't get too big. I mean, they're big enough, you know, probably 2.5 to 3 inches. And there's just pods everywhere. This thing is really doing well. And I couldn't be happier with this plant so far. I was expecting it to maybe come along here. I mean, it's grabbing on, but they just keep going up higher and higher. And that's okay. It's hanging in there. Look at that thing. Yeah, it's tall. Anyway, doing well. I've been picking quite a few of the dragon tongue. There's nothing left on it today, I don't think. Picked some yesterday. Thanksgiving, we made homemade green bean casserole out of this and the pole beans in the back. Excellent. That was incredible. My serrano pepper plant is still hanging in there. Picked some more yesterday. We still got green peppers. They're turning red. This plant is just really good. Carrots are doing good. I actually picked some last weekend, and I don't know, 4 or 5 inches long. In fact, I'll pick some more for a salad tonight. So I got 3 pots that are doing really well. Basically everything is a huge improvement from last video. And in the last video, this pot was empty, and I put 3 more plants in here. Trying different things. Some pots have 1, some have 3, as in this one. This one's a bit bigger, but just experimenting to see how much I can crowd things in. We had a carrot just pop up. I had carrots in this pot last year. I thought I had more growing, but it turns out it's just 1. Anyway, these are doing really good. And it's the same size barrel, but I got 2, I believe, broccolis. 1, 2. Pretty crowded in there. And some more garlic. And there's actually my Bulgarian pepper plant is in there. And 4 more containers. Cabbages, broccolis, cauliflowers. Didn't really label them, but we'll find out when they grow. So yesterday, actually a few days ago, I finally got some onion seeds. All I was able to get in the short day variety, which is what I grow here, was the red burgundy. And I planted them in here. So I got 4 containers. Zucchini was a late experiment. I planted seeds, I guess, September, and I pulled them yesterday. They weren't producing. They were flowering, little tiny zucchinis. In fact, I cut a few of them to go with dinner, but if they're not producing, you need to take them out and put something in that will. So I had some starters from seeds that I was growing, so I got 1 in there. And so all the cages were where the zucchini were. A couple little ones that I planted a couple weeks ago, and in between these cages. So anyway, the whole garden is pretty full, and look at that growth. Much better than last year, or last video. Here's another Napa plant like the one that bolted. I'm really hoping that this one does not bolt. So far, I don't see any signs of flowering in there. The other one, I saw the tiniest little bit of flower buds developing, so I kind of saw it coming. But so far, these are doing better. I'm hoping that the ground stays colder, because typically what happens when anything bolts, whether it's lettuce or apparently cabbage, I had no idea that cabbage bolted, but they do. It's usually due to warmer weather or warmer soil. So I planted a lot of little ones. I had a lot of these little seedlings. There's one right there. So I'm trying to find spots here and there. Some areas are a little bit more crowded than others. And we'll just see how it works compared to giving them more room. That's another cage that the zucchini was in. And now we have some of the brassica family. I think these little ones down here are Romanesco broccolis. I don't have any out in the garden because the first set of seeds early on, we had a heat wave and they were pretty much killed. So I got some right there. I'm hoping to get some planted somewhere because it's a really interesting plant. But anyway, very happy with the in-ground section. Very happy with all the containers as well in my raised beds. Back here I got some pole beans that were planted around July with the corn. Of course the corn is gone, but I'm still picking beans. It's not ideal to have them laying on the ground typically when I'm growing on something, and they were growing on the corn, but they're still producing, which is pretty good. And this tomato plant, this thing is huge. Volunteer just popped up either from my compost or who knows. Anyway, bunch of cherry tomatoes. I got some ripe ones in there. Just green tomatoes everywhere. Everywhere I look, I have tomatoes. There's some flowers also turn into tomatoes. There we go in the back. There's another I mean, just everywhere. There's just, this thing is just covered with cherry tomatoes. Not getting too many ripe too quickly, but I'm picking a few here and there. Anyway, it's great for salads. Really happy. So anyway, I just wanted to update for December. After today and tomorrow's heat wave, about 80, we won't reach 70 degrees for the rest of the year, which is good for these plants. They want something cold. A little warmth is okay, I guess. I hope it doesn't result in any more bolting. But very happy, very happy. These things are huge, much bigger. And all this is still lettuce in here. There's a bunch of dill. In fact, I made some deviled eggs and put some fresh dill on the top. Those were really good. But man, I'm loving these peas. Now, peas like the cold weather, so that's gonna hopefully be around for a while. In this bed, man, I'm very happy with the way things are turning out. Still got my herbs doing pretty good. Chives, oregano, parsley, green onions. Still got some basil, doing well. Flowers are doing good. I think those are geraniums. But anyway, that is the garden, December 20th, 2020. Looking pretty darn good. We'll see you next month.